Welcome back. So far we have some HTML going on here, and this is awesome. Now you may be wondering why we took the long way. It seems that we took the long way here to get to this HTML part. The reason is that now our code is more organized, because you can see here we have everything in folders, separate folders, and we know exactly what's going on. If we want to add a new page, we just need to add a new controller here and name it appropriately to match the name that we want, and voila, we have a new page, as long as we have the function as well to back it up. Okay, so this is how frameworks like CodeIgniter or Laravel are based on. They are kind of just like this, but more importantly, Laravel is a little bit different, but CodeIgniter is pretty much this. So at this point, what you can do is you can get this that we've created here, and then you can save it. Okay, that way next time you have a project, you don't need to start from scratch. You can start from right here. You just copy this and paste it in your new project. You rename a few things, and that's it. You just create new controllers. Obviously the home controller is required, so you can leave that there. You can delete the student's controller, but everything else will remain the same. So for now, what we want to do is, let's see if we can load in our CSS and in the HTML. So let me just close all these files on this side, cancel this one. This one contains our guide. So for now, what I want is to go to the home view right here, and I want to see if we can have Font Awesome actually work. So I'm going to right click here and open, let me just open containing folder. So what I want to do is, let me move these guys into the public folder. So move them here. And then I want to extract. So I will extract these boys to extract each archive to separate folder. That's good. So I have Bootstrap and I have Font Awesome. Nice. So in Bootstrap, all we need is just the Bootstrap file. This, the JavaScript and the CSS. So there's so many files here, but all I need is bootstrap.min.css. So copy that and bring it back to public, right here in public, and I can put it in a folder called assets, and then paste it here. Okay, good. You could put it in a CSS folder, but I think that's overkill. Let's go to the same Bootstrap and let's get the JS and get the same bootstrap.min.js, which is this one. Copy that back here. We need both of these, so inside assets, let me paste that there. Back again to Font Awesome. In here, I'm just going to say go to the CSS and copy all.min.css. Copy that file back in the public assets and paste it here. This is really pretty much what we need from all those guys, right? So you can delete these folders. They are pointless at this point, even these zips, but you may need the zips for a different project. So just leave them there for now. Now let's go and try to load these files. So back here, so this is the home page, right? Now I just want to see if I can load these guys. I will know if the font has changed. So let me add a div here and let me move these two down here. And this div, I will give this div a class of container fluid. So I will try and explain what these are, the Bootstrap classes. So if for you that don't know what Bootstrap is just some CSS that was written by other people ready for you to use. That way you don't have to type your own styles. So it's just a ready-made styles file. Then Font Awesome is just for icons. That's what it is. Cool icons, if I may add. So here inside the head, we can now link our CSS file, which is from Bootstrap, and this one is let's just, so keep in mind that everything is relative to the public the index public folder. Okay, so in here I'll have to say assets slash bootstrap dot min dot css. Save that. So if Bootstrap is active, my font will change. Refresh. The font did not change. So let's inspect what's going on. Usually we get some signal or some error here and there. So what it is saying is, if I go to the console, it's saying make sure you have errors showing ticked here so that you can see, or CSS there. Styles, localhost, school, public, home, assets, Bootstrap was not loaded because its MIME type is not text CSS. Really? Is that the reason? Yeah. The MIME type is there. So I think it's just can't find the file. So that's what's causing all these problems, right? So instead, let's try and add the HTTP. I don't know why it's using HTTPS on my system here for some reason. So just say HTTP slash localhost slash, and then students slash public slash assets. So this is the full path to the whole thing. So let me see if this works. Okay, so that didn't work either. So it's saying get 404 means it wasn't found. So localhost, let's see what we've missed here. There's school there. It's not students, it's school. So my bad, that should change to school. Like so. And let's come back here and let's refresh. Okay, so you see the font has changed now, which is good. It means our CSS is running just fine. So the problem is now every link must be a full link like this. Now you can imagine if you type all these links in full like this, and then you try to go to, because you see this is localhost, you eventually try to go to a live server, you have to go in and change all these links. Now there will be too many links to change in your website. So instead of all this, what we will do is let's cut all this out here. I'm going to cut all this here, except that slash there. Cut this. And then what we will do instead is create a constant. A constant, for the reason is that it's available everywhere, so we don't need to worry about scope. So here I will put a question mark like so, and equal sign, which is the same as saying PHP echo. It's the same as doing PHP echo. So we're just going to do equals, and then we'll put a constant called root like that and close it. So root will contain the root, and then we'll put that. That way when we change to an online server, we can just change one variable and everything will change on our website. So we're going to go to the config in core and add this root. So we're just going to say define, that's how you create a constant, and let's call that constant root. Make sure you have your quotes around it, and then let's do that. Okay, like so. So this is our root. Now, if your website will be using SSL, you have to add the S here manually, and everything will load properly. If you don't do that, you notice that your images are not loading properly, your CSS isn't loading. That's because you're using SSL and you don't have an S there. And also, once you go to a live server, this is where you will put your www link to your website. So normally if you're using SSL, it will be like this: HTTPS and then yourwebsite.com. This is what you will put here. okay, to replace that. So keep that in mind. That's how it is. Okay, goody. So once we have that, we are good to go. Now if I refresh, I should still have that, but it seems I do not. So it's showing me the complaint again here. So if you look closely, root has been misinterpreted there as a literal value. So define root. It seems maybe it's not defined. Let's make sure that in the autoload config is there, and it is there. So let's come back here and see what is the problem. There's root. Everything seems fine here. So I'm not really sure what's happening. Okay, so back here, root. Okay, let me just try here and say echo root. That way we know there's no problem here. It's troubleshooting, refresh, and there it is. It's actually showing up just fine. However, here you see it's showing root and not echoing it. Okay, so we know the constant is not the problem. So let's go back to the view itself. And inside the view, okay, so I think what's happening here is because that same issue of file get contents. I think that's where our problem is coming from, because if I go to my controller in here where I say file get contents, this normally only works if I use the full path. That's when it's going to, if I use HTTP, that's when it's going to run this as HTML, right? So what I need to do here is put root as well. So root dot, like so. Okay, but remember that I need that slash because root doesn't have the slash. So I'll do slashy like that. Okay, so hopefully I haven't made any mistakes here. Let's try this again, shall we? Refresh. Okay, so now we've lost everything. That isn't good. Let's come back here. Okay, so I'll figure this problem out later. So what I'm going to do instead of return, I'm just going to say require here, okay, for now, so that it can process our PHP while we figure out what to do. So I'll remove that and just say require this file, like so. And then back in the controller, the home controller, where is that? Home controller. Instead of echo, I'm just going to say this view, like so. Okay, let's code anyway. So code to undefined function require, well, I missed it. So back here, require, like so. Oh. Like that. Let's refresh. Okay, so everything is fine now. We have the root, that is good. Now let's try font awesome and see if font awesome will work. So let's go to our view, home view. Let's do exactly this, and the only difference is the file here. We're going to say o, not bo, but o.mean.js. Now I just want to add a an icon here, and we do that by putting the I. We use the I tag just because it's rarely used. Class, and then we'll say fa dash, and then let's try a an icon called plus. So I'll refresh this, and you see there we have a problem that icon isn't showing. It's just showing this stuff. Now the reason is that let me go back here. At least that's what I think the reason is. I may be wrong here. If I go to my public. Inside the font awesome here, there's this folder called web fonts. So I think this is where it gets those icons. Not sure, but let's copy this, right? Now the thing is, the font awesome was inside the CSS folder. It's here, or.css, or.mean.css, right? So it's expecting the fonts to be in a folder above it, in a folder called web fonts. So we should give it that same file structure. Otherwise, we won't have any luck. So since it's in here inside assets, let's put it out here, right there. So we'll say web fonts, we'll leave it there. Let's see if that works. Okay, so that isn't working either. No luck there. So let's see what we can get away with. So web fonts there. Okay, let's go back to font awesome. Let's see. Maybe we need the SVGs. I'm not really sure anymore, but I'm pretty sure the other folders are not required. So let's copy the SVGs as well. Paste there. Let's see what that does. Okay. Alrighty then. Cool. So we've given it more data. Let's see what it does. So still we are having that problem. Let me come back here to inspect what's going on. Maybe we are hitting the wrong space. Okay, there we go. So cross origin request blocked. Why was this blocked? Localhost school. So I was right about the fonts. So it's looking for the web fonts actually. So we didn't need the SVGs, we just needed the web fonts. So same origin policy disallows blah blah blah. Okay, so it's the web fonts it's looking for, but it can't get them because of our current situation here. Okay, so now that I know it's the web fonts that it actually needs, I don't need that folder I just copied. So back here, let's delete the SVG because we need to keep these things as lean as possible. So let's look at the web fonts only. Let's refresh the page one more time, and okay, we have exactly the same errors. Now this cross-origin request blocked, what this means, this is a security feature that was introduced to browsers where if the server that has the, let's say the images that you're looking for is different from the server that has the actual file that's requesting those images, it should not accept to do that unless the server itself specifies that it's okay to do something like that. So that is usually specified in the headers. But here the reason why I have this problem, you may not have this problem. The reason I have this problem is because in my URL there I have HTTPS, while in my root, where is config, I have HTTP. So I don't know why mine is using HTTPS for some reason. So let me just remove the S over there and press enter. And then I have my font there. So I let it run like this, just in case you have a situation like that, you will know what to do. Okay, so we have our icon, we have our CSS, and we are ready to build something awesome. Okay, so far so good. Everything is working. We can now begin designing the interface of our system. Okay.